I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, held on October 2nd, 2012 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. Deputy Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pratt.
Here.
Councilmember Dowling.
Here.
Councilmember Alinsky.
Here.
Councilmember Howergy.
Here.
Councilmember Norman.
Here.
Vice Mayor Pfeiffer.
Here.
Mayor Jones.
Here. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask Nikki Arbeiter if she would lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4 is a brief summary of current events by the mayor, city council, and/or city manager. The public body does not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take legal action on any matter brought up during this summary unless the specific matter is properly noticed for legal action. Mr. Bartosh?
Madam Mayor, council members, just a first reminder that we're beginning our general plan review and revision, and we have a whole series of meetings. The first tomorrow night, which will be the visioning workshop at the rec center at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in seeing how our community is going to develop, this is a great opportunity to come out and learn about the general plan that, you want to give
That's tomorrow.
And then the other thing is this weekend on Saturday, we have the 3rd annual Grape Stomp 5K, which will start here in Old Town down to about Dead Horse State Park and back. And that's always a fun event. Last week we had Verde River Day, which I understand was very successful. And we also had the first ever Pride event here in Old Town, which there was a lot of people that came out for that. And then I think I mentioned, but I'll mention it again, on October 27th, we're planning a community-wide cleanup. And so we'll have all kinds of extra roll-off bins up at off of Mingus. And so it's an opportunity for everybody to clean up their yards and bring all their trash and get it disposed of at no cost. Just an effort to try and clean up our properties. That's it, Madam Mayor.
Okay, council, Mr. Pratt?
Yes, I did attend Verde River Day on, I believe it was September 29th, and it was very well attended, and I did read the proclamation standing in for the mayor, and I don't think I made but one mistake.
Sometimes that proclamation can make your tongue kind of twirl.
I had fun with the whereases, yes.
Vice Mayor.
I had the pleasure of visiting the Mountain View Preparatory 3rd grade class at Tavasi Elementary. My great-granddaughter is a 3rd grader, and they were given an assignment to go on the internet and check out the City of Cottonwood website and pick out somebody on the website to write about and study about. And she knows Mayor Jones, and oh, I know Mayor Jones, and she got to me, and she hollers to her mother, "That's my grandmother!" Anyway, that led to being invited to speak to the 2 3rd grade classes. Those children, they're interested in the process and how things are done and why things are done, and they don't have preconceived notions. They did stump me on one. I have to ask someone, the age of a council member. How old do you have to be a council member? I was way past that when I ran. So I didn't, do you know what that age is?
I don't,
Is it
there's
25?
nothing in our
I thought it was 25.
I think it's 20, maybe 25.
Well, I have to research that if y'all will help me do that. So then I got 3 thank you notes. One here is thank you, Mrs. Pfeiffer, and all kinds of hearts and hugs and kisses, and one of them is thank you so much. We learned about government. I learned a whole bunch. the laws that have been signed, the bills that have been vetoed. We learned so much. We almost ran out of time. And then another, I won't read all of the names on it and all, but this is from the 2 third grade classes. And this was from the class president. She was very proud that she was just elected president that week before.
In 3rd grade?
In 3rd grade.
Oh.
And here's another thank you that was drawn by Carlos Zuniga, and everybody signed it. But I'm proud of these. These are some of the neatest awards I've gotten, or thank yous, since I've been on the council forever. And
Those are
I
treasures.
just wanted to share it with you. Those kids are really bright. They're very intelligent children.
Thank you.
And you know, that's a good likeness of you on the back of the green one, I thought.
But you know, the neatest part about being in the 3rd grade class, aside from the teachers, I was taller than everybody in the room this time.
All right, that's awesome. 18. Okay.
I'll have to get back with the class. Thank you.
All right. Any other council members? Let's see, what have I been doing? On September 19th, Casey Rooney, Doug Bartosh, and I were invited by the Yavapai College President Penny Wills to attend the President's Summit on Regional Economic Development at the Verde Valley campus. And President Wills had a robust meeting planned with formal presentations by our very own Casey Rooney of the Cottonwood Economic Development Council, and other presentations were given by Economic Collaborative of Northern Arizona, Sustainable Economic Development Initiative of Northern Arizona, Verde Valley Regional Economic Organization, or better known as Verde Valley Rio, that Linda Norman is a member of, and Yavapai College. And the task at hand was to discuss priorities, aspirations, and opportunities for collaboration with regional economic development organizations active in the Verde Valley. And I'd just like to share that we were complimented for our ability to work regionally here in the Verde Valley. And it was specifically said that this doesn't always happen in other areas outside of the Verde Valley. So I think the Verde Valley should get compliments for that. On September 19th, Councilmember Norman, the city manager, and I attended a Verde Valley Regional Economic Organization event to meet Grady Gamage and network with other leaders in the community. And then the next morning there was another speakers event that I believe Councilmember Norman attended. Did you want to share anything about that?
Grady Gamage actually gave a talk that morning, and there was about probably 75 people there.
Okay.
Great event.
Great.
And breakfast.
And this was one of the first speakers events I think that Verde Valley Rio had, and they're going to be trying to do more of these. And they're kind of the council has supported them being the contact for the Verde Valley and economic development. So they're very important to all of us.
And Madam Mayor, I just
Yes.
add that Mr. Gamage was very complimentary about how there is so much regional cooperation in the Verde Valley, and that we really do kind of serve as a model for the rest of the state.
So you attended also?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, that's really neat to be recognized by someone like that for that accomplishment. On September 20th, I attended the Arizona Town Hall Luncheon in Sedona, and Casey Rooney, he's just everywhere. He helped, I think, organize the meeting, and he also spoke at the meeting. And the topic for this past one is civic engagement, and that's something, as council knows, that I'm very interested in, and I think council is also. We've been very supportive of all the activities that we've done as a council in this field. So I think there will be more good things to come. That's kind of something that I wish to focus on in the future. And maybe through for our city, Cottonwood, and another organization that we'll bring to council pretty soon, we'll get some ideas from everyone on where to go with this. The cities of Cottonwood and Sedona have joined with a coalition of local citizens to bring the traveling Vietnam Wall to Cottonwood for the second annual Verde Valley Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day celebration. In order to make this happen, we will be asking organizations, businesses, and individuals to step up and contribute in the form of skills, services, or money. And as you know, the council already approved, I think we donated $2,000 to this event that's being held in our community. The traveling wall includes the wall and 14 flags that are displayed on the wall. This is the largest traveling replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, and it is 360 feet in length and 8 feet tall at its apex. It is an 80% replica in size and 100% in content. The wall will be located at the Cottonwood Oak Creek School District's junior high football field. Is that called a football field? Is that what it, or soccer field or play field?
I think it's a combination.
Yeah, all kinds, okay. So we have a really neat collaboration with the schools, and as I understand it, Barbie Wren is very excited about this, and we want to be sure that the school children are included in this project. It'll be here for what, Doug, about 4 or 5 days?
The 28th, 29th, 30th, and part of the 31st
Okay.
of March.
Of March, right. And then on the 30th, it will be the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, and that will be at Riverfront Park. So we're kind of, where the wall is, you want to keep it kind of quiet and serene, and so we're in the process of planning all of that. On the 23rd, I was invited to attend the local Post 25 American Legion Auxiliaries Gold and Blue Star Mother's Tea. And the local Post is really great at recognizing mothers that have sons in the service. And fortunately, right now, we don't have any Gold Star mothers. Gold Star mothers are mothers who have lost a child in a war. And Blue Star mothers are ones that have current children serving.
Like me.
And then on the 25th, Councilmember Norman, did you attend the tour of a possible homeless facility? Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, the owner of that Mingus Center down on 10th and Main Street came up from Phoenix and opened it up, and Carol Cosuela from Catholic Charities had invited several of us that had been going to the meetings, and they gave us a tour. I was really impressed with how that's laid out, and they're hoping that they can obtain that building and use it as a shelter, and they're trying to figure out how they can get help in the operation of it.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody from the community has any questions, they could contact Carol Quasala at Catholic Charities. On September 27th, I attended a Public Lands Commemoration Forum, which was a centennial event noting mostly the Bureau of Land Management's accomplishments in managing public lands. And the fun thing about the event was that Supreme Court Justice, or former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, and former Interior Secretary Bruce Babbitt were speakers. On Saturday, I did an opening speech at the Pride event in Old Town. And on Sunday, I attended a book signing at the Bent River Bookstore in Old Town. And I just wanted to share, this is the official centennial book, and it's called Arizona 100 Years Grand. And it's actually written by Lisa Schneble Heidinger. She's one of the fellows at the current Flynn Brown Leadership Academy that I'm attending. And there's some extra books at the Bent River store if anybody would like to purchase one of these. They're really a beautifully done book. And then last but not least, on Friday I'll be interviewing Bill Cowan. He's a Verde Valley historian. Get my bookmark out of here. And he wrote this book, Verde Valley. So I think that TV segment will be ready. It'll be probably the next week, Monday or Tuesday, before it will be on air. But I think that will be very interesting. That's my report for this week. The next item is call to the public. And this portion of the agenda is set aside for the public to address the council regarding an item that's not listed on the agenda for discussion. However, the council cannot engage in discussion regarding any item that's not officially on the agenda for discussion and/or action per Arizona Revised Statute 3843-102H. Comments are limited to a 5-minute time period. Would anybody from the public like to speak during the public comment tonight? If not, we'll close the floor to the public and move to the next item, which is the introduction of new employees. And I believe that we have Morgan Scott to introduce some employees for the maintenance department and a couple of others.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Mayor, members of the council, Morgan Scott with the Development Services Department. We have 3 new employees since the last time we were here before you to present new employees. I'd like to bring them forward now. The first is Kenny Francaro. Kenny is with our Parks and Building Maintenance Department. Kenny's a local. You might recognize the name, Francaro. Kenny's worked for a few local contractors, but this is one of his first jobs, and we're very happy to have him. He's eager to learn, and he's a hard worker.
Right, welcome. Thank you. Would you like to share any words of wisdom with the council and the public?
Nice to meet all.
Well, welcome. We're happy to have you.
Our next employee is Crystal McDaniel. Crystal is with our solid waste transfer station. We stole Crystal from Yavapai County. She was with their solid waste transfer station for 11 years before she came to the county. She moved here from Yarnell, I believe, Kirkland. Came here to the Prairie Valley, moved her family here. So we're happy to have Crystal's experience, a lot more experience than almost anybody else in the city has running a solid waste transfer station.
Great. Would you like to share any words of wisdom? Well, welcome to.
I'm glad to be here and part of the group. And glad to bring the knowledge. It was an easy steal.
Well, we hope that.
We were wanting to move down here anyways.
Yeah. Great. Well, we hope that you're very happy here, and we're looking forward to having you as a city employee.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And last but definitely not least is Stephen Beckman. Would you come on up, Stephen? Stephen's also with the solid waste transfer station. Stephen worked with us as a temp employee before coming to the transfer station. Very reliable, very accountable, and again, very hardworking. We're happy to have him. He's doing a great job at the transfer station. He's only been there about 5 days now, I think. Yes.
All right, Stephen, do you wish to share anything?
It's very nice to meet you all, and I'm glad for the opportunity for the job.
Well, great.
I'm enjoying it.
Well, thank you very much. We wish you the best success in your new job. And our transfer station is something that we're very thrilled about managing. I think that we're able to provide a really great service to our citizens through that management.
Most of them that come in are also good.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all for now.
Okay, thanks. The next item is item number 7, Employee of the Quarter Award, Clint Combs. Am I saying that right? Combs, okay. Terrorism Liaison Officer.
And I'd love to go on and on about Clint, but I think the best thing to do would be to bring up Nikki Arbeiter, who nominated Clint, and I'd like her to talk specifically why she nominated Clint.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Nikki Arbeiter with the Community Development Department. I've had the pleasure of working with Officer Combs over the past 10 months. He's been very vital in helping us develop policies and procedures for the joint code enforcement / hearing officer process. Clint is always willing to make the extra effort to get in touch with community members in person or on the phone before sending them a notice of violation or other written warning. Clint goes above and beyond to explain the reasoning behind our process. He explains that the overall goal is to help improve our community and to make it a better place to live, not just to come down hard on the citizens of Cottonwood. He has a great record of gaining compliance very quickly while working diligently and respectfully with property owners. Clint's ability to achieve compliance at the code enforcement level has saved the city a lot of time and money by helping avoid the lengthy and more expensive hearing officer process. Additionally, alleviating code violations helps with the beautification of our city. So I just want to thank the Personnel Board for selecting Clint for this award and the Council for recognizing him this evening.
Thank you. And was it Officer Combs's idea to do the program where the council gave a little bit of money so that you can assist
For the vouchers.
for the voucher
Yes.
program?
Yeah, that was his idea.
All right. So would you like to share any information with the council, Officer Combs? Yeah. Okay, well, we have something for you.
While you're doing that, can I speak?
Yes.
Quickly?
Yes. well, you have your-
This was an easy decision and a very difficult decision because we had so many good people that were nominated at the same time. But just want to let everybody know, keep nominating and don't give up, because we had so many really highly qualified people this time that it was an easy decision, but really, really tough to make.
I'm always proud when ex-students excel.
So,
I'm sure you have something to do.
Oh, I'm sure.
So on behalf of my colleagues on the city council and your city manager and staff and co-workers, we would like to present you with this City of Cottonwood third quarter 2012, July 1st through September 30th Employee of the Quarter Award. Congratulations. The vice mayor gets the best part. A small token of our appreciation for all that you do. And it's so important, having a clean city and having vibrant neighborhoods, and the job you're doing right now and doing it, you know, not as punishment, but as working with people and communicating with them and helping them understand it's for the good of all. And thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next item is presentations. Item number 1 is the Governor's Economic Development Award for Innovation in Economic Development in Old Town. And we have with us, we have some folks from Old Town tonight. We have Lindsay Higginson with us and Lisa Pender. Is there anyone else tonight? I don't think so. Okay. So we wanted to honor our Old Town partners, and we had Kelly Foy from Crema Cafe with us that night at the governor's event. And this is what the city and Old Town and all of our residents and the council and the staff and Casey that wrote the nomination, this is what we brought home. And we just wanted to have kind of a little ceremony tonight to congratulate Old Town on all of the work that you've done to make this happen, because if you didn't do all the work, it wouldn't have happened. So we appreciate that, and we'd just like to go ahead and, if council wants to come down and present this to the Old Town members, I invite you to do so. Mr. Bartosh. So we need to share a little bit about, this was the governor's rural economic, or it's not rural anymore, it's statewide economic development event. And this award was for commemorative cooperation.
No, this was just economic gardening.
Okay, economic gardening. We recently received 2 awards, the Tourism Award, and I get them confused sometimes. But economic gardening is a process whereby you support your current businesses and try to build them up, because that's really where your bread and butter is in your community. So we'd just like to present this to the Old Town merchants. Thank you. And thank you for all your hard work. Thank you. You're welcome. the state, and yeah, they always come up with something different. Yeah. That's good. So I think that Kate is, okay, you want to talk about the trophy case?
Yeah, we're actually going to display this down at the rec center in the case down there. So, unless you guys have
We thought the rec center was someplace that gets a lot of people in there, and a lot more people would see it there than they would maybe in some other city facilities.
In fact, both the other award that we got for cooperative marketing.
The governor's award. All right.
Opposite tours.
Opposite yours. Okay, you're welcome. Yes. Then we have another presentation about Old Town. We have Lindsay Higginson, who's the new president, and we have Lisa Pender, who's the past president, to update us on the status and future of the Old Town Association. Ladies.
Well, Madam Mayor, Council, I am honored and am very excited to pass on the torch to Lindsay Higginson. As you all know, I've been doing this for 7 years. It's been a great ride. It's been so much fun to work with the Chamber of Commerce and rebuild that relationship, to work with the City Council and the city staff and rebuilding those relationships that maybe weren't so great in the past, and to build up Old Town. And it's just been an honor, and I'm not gonna cry. It's gonna be fine. No, it's been great. It's been so wonderful, and to see Old Town and where it is, and to hear the compliments that we've gotten from residents and people who have traveled through Cottonwood before, and then seen the changes, and they're just elated, and it's been great. In the last couple of months, there was quite a bit of interest of, one, I need to not be president anymore because we need to move on and get some fresh faces. And Lindsay stepped into that just willingly and excited. In fact, Lindsay was, she perpetuated and brought to us the opportunity to have the Arizona Office of Tourism grant. She called me in a hurry one day and said, Lisa, we have this opportunity for this grant. We need to take care of this, and we did, and it was great. And she's taken the bull by the horns and really ran with it. And so I am very proud and honored to present Lindsay Higginson as the new president of the Old Town Association.
Thank you very much.
I do want to thank Lisa because this transition has been made very easy. Lisa is mentoring a lot of the staff members on all the events that are taking place, and we're hoping that she won't, disappear. That's to make you feel guilty. And we know where you work, so. The deal with the AOT grant is it was a matching funds grant, and it came at a very special time. There was 2 weeks to react. And Lisa, having known what we did with the Taste of Cottonwood, what we won the Governor's Tourism Award for, committed $5,000 of the OTA funds, marketing funds, to this effort. And it has gotten us into magazines such as the Arizona Official State Guide, the Official State Map, AAA, High Roads Magazine, the Valley Guide, TripAdvisor will have a banner on 4 banners on TripAdvisors for 3 months this fall. Phoenix Magazine, Media Marketplace, and there's several others. Also, the council, the Economic Council in Casey committed $3,000. And that $8,000 turned into $17,000. But the best news of all is that the rates that they negotiated with the magazines were discounted. So essentially, had we called the magazines and asked to run an ad, we would have received about the equivalent of $25,000 worth of ad dollars. So it was really well worth it. We were one of 5 rural communities that had the time to put it together. So, and Lisa reacted very, very quickly, so I really appreciate that. But also the fact that she is helping with all the events, the chocolate walk and whatever, it's going to make the transition really quite smooth. So, thank you, Lisa. the thing I want to talk about tonight in terms of the presentation is, first of all, I wanted to tell you a little bit about who is on the board. I have given you there's a kind of a graph, a chart that looks like this with all of the new OTA members, their jobs, what merchants they represent, and what they'll be doing in the OTA organization. So I'm president. Cindy B. is in charge of events, and she's the vice president. Larry Cohen from Larry's Antiques is treasurer. Crystal Radke from Cindy Bling is secretary. Lita Holland from Crema Cafe is marketing, PR, and membership. Mitch Levy is Burning Tree Cellars, in charge of events. Pat Mannheim, the Art Gallery, is in charge of events. Kevin Grubb will be doing events, and Hezekiah Allen has joined us as a coordinating piece between the town and the OTA, which I think is a wonderful, wonderful addition. The nice thing is we have the vineyards represented, restaurants, art, antique specialty stores in the city of Cottonwood, all on one board, so we're pretty excited about that. The first thing that we did in this last month was set some priorities, really examine the opportunities and set some priorities. And I would say the first thing that, because we had gotten so much information and people trying to give us information, we wanted to organize it into a survey. And we have actually sent each one of you the OTA survey, membership survey. So you could take a look at it. It is confidential. It's done through something called SurveyMonkey that also takes all the results and compiles them. In addition to all the membership and city members, the City of Cottonwood members, it is also being delivered to every single merchant and business by hand to get their feedback and hope that someday they will join us in membership, which I think would be, I mean, unity is what we're looking for in this situation. And I think in some of the marketing efforts we've done up to this point, I think we've really shown that that can be done here. So we also have revised a monthly and quarterly reporting for the financial system. That is in place. We are revising the bylaws, and that will be done in November. Ongoing, we're going to try and expand our current events like the Chocolate Walk to give us a little bit more income to do some of the other advertising that we need to do. We are going to continue doing the advertising and PR efforts that are already in place and hopefully make enough money in the Chocolate Walk and some of the other things to even place some more ads, especially locally. We don't have a lot of local money. Most importantly, though, we have analyzed our marketing opportunities to capitalize on our gaining momentum. And we do have momentum. I think that it's pretty clear that things have really changed in the last 3 years. Included in this is an infrastructure which includes the branding, the logo, a rack card with a new map, a new website to reflect Arizona's new destination concept, and our most critical needs are actually the overview of what we're going to be doing to take us to critical mass. And actually, when you gain some momentum, the important thing is that you continue to push that momentum, because then you will reach critical mass. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then there's another step that goes in marketing, and that's where you reinvent yourself over and over again. But that's kind of what we're talking about now, is just getting to critical mass. And we really will be on fire. I think we're heading that direction. Anyway, in getting ready for that, I have included something which is marketing research. 17 months ago, when we started Taste of Cottonwood, I did some personal focus groups with about 100 people in the Phoenix area, testing the Arizona destination concept. And now what we're going to be calling is Governor's Tourism Award 2012, Arizona's New Destination Trip, historical town Cottonwood. So this is some of the information, and I think it's rather interesting. 92% reported female initiation of idea or planning excursions. 78 responded they'd be more likely drawn to a destination with 1 or 2 more attractions as opposed to a single activity. 81% welcomed the idea of a new travel destination within 2 hours of the greater Phoenix area. 18% had never heard of Old Town Cottonwood. 66% had not been to Old Town or Cottonwood in 10 years or more. So these were pretty critical facts, so we had to draw something that would excite them and get them up here. We are, as we search for the branding, the right branding ticket, we will be doing more focus groups. They'll be informal, but we're hoping that some of these numbers will change. And that's going to be a real barometer of the job that we've done. Anyway, that's one of the steps in branding, and I just wanted to give you an example of that. What I'm asking for is that we build, and I would like the council to vote a financial support for this. It will include the branding, as I've spoken, the logo, which we don't really have an active logo for OTA right now, one that we can use or that is in practice right now. The rack card and with new map will come after the website, but the website is really critical. It reflects a time when Cottonwood was 4 years or 3 years older, or newer than we are right now. And I think the important thing to remember is that it is not a tourism. It is not a destination website. It is informational, but there's a calendar that's not usable. There's all kinds of things that we can do to really generate. In addition to which, we've put this out to bid. I've put it out to 7 different people. Several people thought the job was too big and didn't take it on. I put it out to 2 Phoenix PR companies and web developers, and they were so high that we have kind of come down to a smaller, and I think we can get the same results. AZ Communications, they're the ones that do the Verde Valley Wine Trail. They do a lot of work for the Chamber, and they've done a lot of events for us. They do a lot of the PR for this whole area, have bid, and have probably the most reasonable, thorough, and thoughtful bid right now. We have 2 more bids that we're considering that are going to be presented this week, but we would like to make a decision by next Tuesday. The cost that we're actually looking for is about $6,000. This includes, the logo's about $350, maintenance of the site, the website is about $3,300, which includes branding, a strategic plan, the maintenance for the website, which includes site analysis, search engine optimization, Facebook, and let's say it'd be an e-newsletter, and then also we would be doing other social media to tie into this, and that would be a monthly thing that really helps get the website recognized, and that's part of the structure. It comes to, with everything, about $7,450. I'm not asking for that because I want to make sure that we have some skin in the game in terms of working toward these events so that we bring in more money to support this. But actually, to put this together, it would invigorate our infrastructure and would give us a really good start. So if there are any more questions, I would be happy to entertain them.
Questions, Council? Any questions from the public? Okay. So what you're actually doing, you would like to request some more funding, and of course we can't decide that tonight because it's not on the agenda, but it's something that if council approves of it, we could put it on a future agenda for discussion. It wouldn't be until the 16th of October, our next meeting. Okay. Are you missing deadlines?
You know what, we're going to try and go ahead and make a decision as to who is the right person to do this. And if we have to wait another week or so, we will be gathering information anyway, because there's a lot of background that has to go in. If somebody creates a website, there's all kinds of stuff that we have to give to them in order to create the proper instrument. So that's going to take some time, but we would love a decision in a couple weeks. Okay.
Mr. Elinsky?
Can you use any of the money that you recently got from the grant to
that
go
is
towards
all gone.
It's all gone. Okay.
It is all gone. I'm sorry.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. But a lot of that went. The $5,000 of that went to the AOT matching funds grant. So that's that kind of brought us up to date. All right.
Okay. So I think that I would recommend that staff put that on the agenda for October 16th. And then do we have council, do we still have some council contingency? Or is there
I
another
believe so.
area where we would take that money from?
No,
The city manager's contingency?
we could. The other thing that, I don't know if Lindsay's had any discussion with Casey, but maybe we could do a shared funding of this through CEDC and then either the council or my contingency fund.
I know that Lita has approached him to possibly do the RAC card
Okay.
and the new map, because we really don't have a city brochure at the current time. Small Wonders, which is wonderful, does not include everybody. So that's,
Right.
but that's up to you.
I can get with Lindsay and we'll see if there's some strategies, and
Okay,
we'll bring it back to the council on the 16th.
sounds good.
Would you like me to be there on the 16th in case there are questions, or
Is it possible for you to be here?
I will be here?
Okay, yes, that would be good.
Good. And I will have, I will break it down a little more specifically.
Okay.
All right?
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
Thank you. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Lisa Pinder, because over the past 7 years, I know that she has put in multiple hundreds, if not thousands of hours working on Old Town, and plus having her own multiple businesses to try to keep up with. So I can't believe that, you know, you don't have gray hair and oh, okay, maybe you do. And we could certainly understand, because we know you've worked really hard and we appreciate that.
Well, and I want to let you know that I'm not stepping away, I'm just stepping down for the moment. And I'm, like she said, I'm still very actively involved. It's just great to see somebody with such enthusiasm to move us forward into a direction that I think is going to just be wonderful. She's just taking the torch and moving it on, and this is great. I'm
That's
so
great.
excited. I really am. So you will see me.
So it's kind of, you can sort of compare it to how Brian Mickelson used to say that Cottonwood was a teenager, and then we moved into being grown up, and maybe you can say that about the Old Town Association. You've got it through those hard teenage years.
Yeah,
And
we've got it to the teenage years, and I want to thank you all, and it's been a wonderful.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, the next item is approval of the minutes from the work session of 9/11/12 and regular meeting of 9/18/12. If there are no corrections, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the minutes of the work session of 9/11/12 and the regular meeting of 9/18/12.
Second.
Mr. Pratt made the motion, Mr. Elinsky seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Comments regarding items listed on the agenda are limited to a 5-minute time period per speaker. Unfinished business, item 10. Number 1 under unfinished business is item number 1, ordinance number 588, amending the municipal code by deleting chapter 2.104, Senior Commission of Title II, Administration and Personnel. This would be the second and final reading. And just to kind of share with members of the public who maybe haven't been here, this was discussed, I believe it was discussed at a work session in pretty much detail, and then it was discussed at the first reading, which was the last meeting we had. So this is the second and final reading. Are there any comments from the public on this item? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve ordinance number 588.
Second.
So the vice mayor made the motion. Which one of you? I heard you at the same time. Who's going to take the credit? Okay, Councilmember Norman seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Deputy Clerk, please read ordinance number 588 by title only.
Ordinance number 588, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, amending the municipal code by deleting chapter 2.104, Senior Commission of Title II, Administration and Personnel. Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next is the consent agenda. We have 2 items. Item number 1 is resolution number 2663, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality pertaining to the Cottonwood Fire Department issuing permits for open burning. Item number 2 is award of bid for an underground job order contract for the installation of a new water main and services on North Cactus Street. Are there any items that a council member would like to pull off of this consent agenda for discussion? Are there any items that members of the public would like to pull off for discussion? Mr. Oliphant?
Mayor, number 2, the construction bidding process.
Okay, so we'll pull item number 2 for discussion. Okay, do I hear a motion on item number 1? Mr. Pratt?
I move to approve item number 1 under the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Pratt made the motion. Mr. Dowling seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Deputy Clerk, please read resolution number 2663 by title only.
Resolution number 2663, a resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality pertaining to issuing permits for open burning. Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, so hang on just a second while I get here to this item. Okay, is Mr. Biggs here tonight? Mr. Biggs is here, so we would like to have a discussion of the Cactus Street water line replacement.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. The replacement of the aging water main on North Cactus Street is the first step in a series of sidewalk replacements, drainage improvements, pavement improvements being planned for Cactus Street. The existing water main is located under the existing sidewalk, and it doesn't make sense to put a new sidewalk in without replacing the old 2-inch cast iron or galvanized water main that's beneath it. The existing water main is prone to failures and has led to an increasing number of water quality complaints about rusty water and loss of service, low pressure, these sorts of things. A new water main in this neighborhood would improve the looping of the system, improves redundancy. We plan on installing a fire hydrant right out here on Pima and Cactus to improve fire flows in the neighborhood. And the plan set was submitted to the 3 pre-approved JOC contractors, and Arizona Northern Equipment was awarded the bid for the price of $56,594.71. The second contractor, Kinney Construction, bid $70,943.53. Tiffany Construction bid $86,374.60. Do you have any questions?
Questions, Council?
I guess one of the other points is if you ever look at one of the pieces of pipe they cut out, there's not much room left there for much water to flow through either.
Nope.
They are
We do have
caked.
pressure problems.
And aren't we in a process of trying to replace a lot of the lines down here in Old Town?
Yes, as Mr. Biggs indicated, we are having problems with leaks, quality of the water, rust. If you use the restroom here, you can see the results of some of that. All the lines down here need to be replaced.
Because they're like 100 and some years old.
Yeah, in fact, we're in the process of replacing one on behind 2nd Street that was just leaking pretty significantly, and the cost of doing that was under $50,000, so it didn't come to the council, and it was really an emergency situation where we were losing water like crazy. So.
And this is one of our conservation measures also, is to replace old pipe, and that has saved us a tremendous amount of water. If I've heard that from staff. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is the beauty of the job order contracting is, we put it out to our 3 pre-approved contractors, and they bid on it, and Northern Arizona was the low bidder this time, and actually the second phase of this is the sidewalk, and Tiffany was the low bidder on that, so it does work out pretty well.
Great. So are there comments from the public? Mr. Oliphant, did you wish to comment?
No, I just wanted an
Okay.
explanation for that project.
Thank you very much. And it's always good to discuss those things in public and have the public hear what's happening. So when they drive down Cactus in the next couple of months, they won't be surprised. Or they maybe won't be able to drive down Cactus. I don't know how all of that works. So, well, thank you, Mr. Biggs.
Thank you.
Okay, so do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Dowling?
All right. I move to award the contract for a JOC bid for installation of a new water main on North Cactus Street to Arizona Northern Equipment in the amount of $56,594.71.
Second.
Mr. Dowling made the motion, and Mr. Elinsky, is that your name? Seconded it? All right.
That's me.
Turn those around so I can see them. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, new business. The following items are for, we did read the resolution, right? Okay. The following items are for council discussion, consideration, and possible legal action. Item number 1, approving the Cottonwood Fire and Police Departments to sponsor a charity golf tournament in spring of 2013 to benefit the 100 Club of Arizona. Mr. Eisenga. Commander Eisenga.
Members of the council, thank you. Chief Fanning's unable to make it here this evening. And I also have with me Officer Fredette. Officer Fredette and Sergeant Muri are putting this together. We're seeking council approval to hold a golf tournament. The golf tournament will benefit the 100 Club of Arizona, which is a great club that benefits officers and firefighters that are killed or injured in the line of duty. They help them out financially, big financial support. So this is something we would like to put together. It's not unlike some of the other events that the police department and the fire department have done, the football game and the basketball games that we never seem to win. But the golf tournament will be helpful to me because it's something that I can get involved in. I'm not much of a football player. But, so we're asking for support, approval to do this. It'll be at at 7 Canyons. If anybody's played up there, it is phenomenal. And we think that'll really draw a lot of players to the tournament. Council's welcome to put a team together. But we think it'll be a great tournament. I think we'll have a really good turnout. Again, a great cause, the 100 Club of Arizona. It is very beneficial to us. So we would like your approval in doing that. And if anybody has any questions, Officer Fredette is here, as he is one of the officers sitting there.
Would you like to share anything, Officer Fredette?
If I may, Madam Mayor.
Yes, please.
Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, I just want to say I appreciate the opportunity to come before you. I just want to say that sometimes officers and firefighters often wear mourning bands over their badges because of a lost fellow member of the career which we've chosen in mourning. I went to the memorial service for Sheriff Deaver down in Sierra Vista last Wednesday, and for those of you that do not know, one of his sons works for our police department, so his loss was felt more so in our department, probably some of the other departments. And so this charity event is near and dear to some of our hearts. And what we're asking for is to be able to advertise that this event is being sponsored by the city fire department and police department in support of the 100 Club of Arizona, in support of fallen firefighters and police officers.
Well, I hope you get a really great turnout. Mr. Pratt?
For the first time in October 2012, I get to say this is a no-brainer, considering the great work the 100 Club does for families that really need it. Considering that it really doesn't cost the city anything, and again gives us a chance to show our support for the public safety officials who support our citizens so well, it's a no-brainer.
I think so too. And if you would, please give Officer Deaver, the mayor and council, sincere condolences in his loss. It's got to be really tough. I know it was tough for Cochise County. It was tough for you. Mr. Bartosh?
Madam Mayor, as somebody who's lost an officer in the line of duty when I was down in the valley, the 100 Club, they come in, they give the family money, they give them support to help until the benefits start coming. They give them financial advice. They really are truly a great organization. And I'm sure they were busy today because there was a Border Patrol agent killed down in the south part of the state today. And so they'll be down there right on the doorstep handing out money. And the executive director of that organization, who's a personal friend, also lost her husband in the line of duty. So she's a great leader of that organization, but really a well-run organization. I've been a member for quite a few years now.
So how can we help you get the word out? Maybe sponsor you on one of Doug's Inside Cottonwood TV shows about it?
Certainly do that. It's a good idea.
And then I'm thinking too, if you take it maybe to some of the other councils, I know that the Sedona Council that meeting's televised. And however, I don't know how you're going to get the word out, but if the council can help you, we would definitely. Vice Mayor?
Before it happens and when you're starting to get it organized and you're looking for donations and sponsors, if you can get us 500 flyers to the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce the last business day of that month, then it can go out to our 500 newsletters.
I appreciate that, Vice Mayor.
Mr.
Mayor,
if you could come up so that we can record your comments.
Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager. If you have flyers, we'll be happy to put them on the buses and in the bus stops.
Great idea.
Thank you. Council, can you think of any other way we can help? Any other places? Yavapai College, get the word out there?
We could get the word out at the college. I'm sure the paper would do a public service announcement. And we all talk to a lot of people. So just talk it up. And I think, as Commander Isinger said, when they find out where it's at, this used to be a private golf course, and they open to the public, and people are like, wow, we get to go. It's a great spot. And it is a good organization. So.
And we can get it on the city's website
and Facebook page too. Great. Are there any comments from the public on this item? Mr. Smith?
I'm just curious.
If you could, are you able to come up?
Yeah, I can come up, yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, we could bring it to, we can bring it to you.
I just wondered if you had any idea what kind of price you're going to have on it?
We haven't confirmed the price, although we have confirmed the price through Seven Canyons, what it's going to cost for, basically overhead to use their facility, and anything after will be strictly 100% donated to the charity of the 100 Club of Arizona. So we have not yet set up the numbers. We wanted the City Council's blessing before we really jumped in, and if we're going to get blessing, then we're going to dive in head first and probably start advertising, and we'll probably get some numbers very, very shortly.
Okay, yeah, no, it's a good, I played it probably 100 times.
It's a beautiful course.
So Daryl Smith would be a great person to get the word, help get the word out. All right, well, so there is a motion. Yes.
I move to approve the charity golf tournament tentatively scheduled for the spring of 2013 at the Seven Canyons Golf Resort, sponsored by the Cottonwood Police Department and the Cottonwood Fire Department, with all proceeds going to the 100 Club of Arizona.
Second.
Councilmember Norman made the motion. The Vice Mayor seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much for doing this. We appreciate that. Okay, the next item is ordinance number 589, amending the municipal code by deleting Chapter 2.52, Library, of Title II, Administration and Personnel, and adding a new Chapter 2.52, Library, first reading. And we have our library manager, Vanessa Ward, with us to explain this item.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. This is basically amendments are housekeeping in nature. We need to make changes as far as from library director to library manager. And we also need to make changes with our Board of Trustees, changing that to a Library Advisory Board. What this will do will enable us to also have citizens that use our library and are in Yavapai County be able to apply to be a board member.
And thank you. That was something that the council had asked you to bring back to us, and I appreciate that. When I was reading this, I didn't really see, and I'm sure that Steve read it too, I didn't really see, and I could have missed it, but that it says advisory board, but that it serves at the pleasure of the city council and advises the city council.
Yes. Oh, you're looking for where it says that?
Did I miss it?
2.52040.
2.52040. Gotcha. Okay. I was reading too fast. Thank you. I thought that was important for it to ensure that it is an advisory board to the council. Any other questions?
And actually, Madam Mayor, if I might follow up on that, in the old version of this, I think, or in another version that I reviewed, there was some indication that the board would make certain decisions with respect to fines and whatnot, and we pulled that out to make this board purely advisory.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Comments from the public on this item? And thank you. We have some members of our board here tonight.
You do.
You want to introduce yourselves, or do you want to introduce them, please?
We have Dee Dee Ewald, who's been a longtime board member, and we have Richard Smith, who's a new board member.
I think Dee Dee's been about, what, 30 years now on the board, so.
I'm the eldest and he's the newest.
Well, thank you for being here tonight and sitting through this long meeting to support this item. Or this item and the next item, I guess, are both library items. Any other questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion. Oh, no motion, it's the first reading. So City Clerk, Deputy Clerk, please read ordinance number 589 by title only.
Ordinance number 589, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, amending the municipal code by deleting chapter 2.52, library of title II, administration personnel, and adding a new chapter 2.52, library.
All right. Well, that's good to get that cleaned up. Okay, item number 3 under new business is resolution number 2664, approving a library support agreement with the Yavapai County Free Library District to provide library district funds for the Cottonwood Public Library. And we have Ms. Ward with us.
There were questions with the library support agreement, and I am happy to say and pleased to and thank them. I actually have the Yavapai Library Network Manager that would like to do a presentation so you can understand the breakdown and the formula. And we have the Yavapai County Free Library District Director and 2 of her staff here.
And if we could get your names, please. Do you want to? Is it Barbara?
And Barbara Kyle.
Okay.
Corey does have a PowerPoint presentation.
Great.
Mayor Jones, City Council members, I'm Barbara Kyle, and I'm the Yavapai County Free Library District Director. And Corey and I are here tonight to give a presentation that in part has the IGA that we have had for many, many years with the library district. We've included that in the support agreement so that you would only be getting one agreement to go ahead and support. But is it okay if I hand out our presentation to you?
Yes, that would be great.
Thank you.
What Corey's going to be doing, again, it's mostly right now about the library district, and then we'll have other questions if you have about the Yavapai Library Network.
Thanks, Kyla.
And again, Corey Christians is the Yavapai Library Network Manager.
Mayor, Council, I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to chat with you today about the Yavapai County Free Library District and how our services benefit the citizens of Cottonwood. Oh, by the way, at any time, if you have any questions, just feel free to shoot them out there and I'll handle them as best I can. So I think it's important here, starting out, to kind of let you know a little bit about the beginnings of library districts in Arizona. Library districts were established under Arizona Statute, ARS 11901, which gives the Board of Supervisors the power to establish a library district. And one of the main tenets of that law is to make sure that library districts have the power to tax. This makes sure that there's always a funding source for libraries in the county. And as part of that, you can see there it says that the main purpose of the tax is to establish a district and to ensure payment of salaries, maintenance, and upkeep and other necessary expenses of the County Free Library District. Okay. Now, as part of this, as incorporated cities or towns, they have the opportunity to contract with the Yavapai County Free Library District so that they can help supplement services while the municipality provides primary library services. So in this case, one of the ways that we can actually benefit your library is providing a monetary contribution. So to get specifically into what the Yavapai County Free Library District does, or is it's established by the Yavapai County Board of Supervisors to increase access to unserved, underserved areas of the county, provide a stable base of funding for existing services to improve and expand, and to help municipalities establish and keep libraries. So our mission, what the Library District is hoping to accomplish, is that first and foremost, we're a cooperative affiliation of libraries whose mission it is to provide library materials and services to meet the informational, cultural, and recreational needs of all residents of Yavapai County. And our vision for accomplishing that goal is to strive to maintain resourceful, user-friendly information centers with up-to-date technology for all Yavapai County citizens. So how do we meet this vision? Well, part of what we do is to provide technology services via the Yavapai Library Network. We fund subscriptions and other services. So for instance, you can get consumer reports online and read if you're going to get a good refrigerator. We advocate for YCFLD libraries. We consult with libraries to improve operations and help libraries maintain relevancy and provide continuing education opportunities for library staff. Now, we also provide library administration management and funding, and we do this principally in two ways. One, by providing direct administration and management of unincorporated community libraries. This is communities such as Ash Fork, and basically the library district directly manages those libraries, including the building, maintenance, salaries, materials, all of it. And the second way is providing monetary contributions to supplement regular library funding. So in an incorporated area such as the city of Cottonwood, where you handle the library yourself, we can provide you an infusion of a monetary contribution to help you maintain your library, and we also provide services that you directly benefit from. So here are some of the benefits that YCFLD and a YCFLD affiliate library gets. Access to the Yavapai Library Network. And one of the services the network provides is you can basically share the 100,000 items that the Cottonwood Public Library has with the rest of the Yavapai Library Network, consisting of over 40 libraries. So it gives your citizens access to over 1.2 million items that can be delivered at no cost to you except for courier service to your library. It also gives access to enterprise-level library automation software. This basically allows your patrons and citizens to check books in and out, for the library to add new books to the system, to keep track of fines, all of the running of the library. And administration of the YLN provided software, 24/7 technical support for YLN services, training for YLN provided software and services, and technology expertise and consulting services. Now, these operational benefits are provided at no cost to your library. Next. We also give you access to subscription databases, including over 100,000 electronic books and audiobooks, 57 databases that are provided through the state of Arizona, which we provide part of the funding for. Mango Language Learning, if you want to learn a new language. Tutor.com, if you have a student that needs some help with their homework. And of course, Heritage Quest, one of our most popular options, if you'd like to research your ancestry. Now, another way that we've directly helped the Cottonwood Public Library is through RFID technology. The library district has given over 100,000 RFID tags at no cost to the Cottonwood Public Library so that they can tag, as it were, all of their books, replacing the books, the old barcode system with the new RFID tag.
And RFID means?
Oh, my apologies. It's radio frequency identification technology. The way it works in the traditionally is you have a barcode and a laser scans that and inputs that data into the computer. And RFID technology has an antenna that sits on the circulation countertop, and somebody puts their book down, and that antenna scans a tag using radio frequency in the book, and then it uploads that information, kind of acting as a barcode, to the automated system. The benefit to this is it increases efficiency because they can do 5 or 6 books at a time, and it also is more accurate security. Somebody's trying to take a book, chances are better it's going to get caught with an RFID system versus an electromagnetic system, which is the old way of doing things. So we also provide conversion hardware, we provide installation services, and we support the RFID technology. And again, we've covered a majority of this expense with the Friends of the Library covering a lot of the expense as well, such as the RFID gates and antennas. And then lastly, we provide a monetary contribution. So the total benefit to the Cottonwood Public Library for this fiscal year is going to be $247,000.14. And here's kind of a breakdown of how each one of these services and the contribution is. $176,000 of it is the monetary contribution, with $40,000 going to YLN services, $15,000 going to RFID, and about $14,000 going to subscription services. So the contribution formula is a new formula that we've implemented this year, and it has the approval of all the library directors that are part of the Yavapai County Free Library District. And we basically take $1.5 million and find a fair and have established a fair and equitable way of distributing that money to all the municipalities that receive a direct benefit. One of the goals that we had in mind is we wanted to make sure that each library received a fair amount. So we did that by implementing these weights into a formula that $1.5 million is dumped into. So there's a base contribution of 5%. This guarantees everybody will get some money. The population, we gave that a 5% weight because it's important to include not only the Cottonwood city limits, but also other areas that you're currently serving, such as the Verde Village in Cornville. So that goes into your population service area. Assessed valuation is a new factor and one of the most important ones, and we gave it a huge weight because we wanted to make sure that your tax dollars stay within, at least as much as possible, stay within Cottonwood. Circulation, how much a library is used, basically, when they're taking materials in and out. Active patrons, this is not the same as your population. Active patrons are people that are going in, they have a library card, and they use the library at least once within 3 years. If it takes them, well, if they don't use the library within 3 years, we purge them from the system. So this gives libraries a benefit that if your library is really active, you have a lot of patrons that use the library, but you're a smaller library, this weight will work in your favor. And then, of course, the number of items that your library has. So here's how it breaks down into the pie chart. You can see that the assessed valuation is the largest portion. The base contribution breaks out $75,969, which is 5% of the $1.5 million. And everybody you can see gets an equal share of that money, with Cottonwood getting $12,662 of that 5%. Population is another 5%, and all of this should be in the handout that you were given with the amount of dollar amounts you're getting. I didn't include that. But the population of Cottonwood, which we have determined adding in Verde Village and Cornville according to the 2010 census, is 28,181, and that's the share you would get of that 5%. Assessed valuation, Cottonwood comes in at $167,985. You can see that looking at this, Cottonwood is the fourth largest piece of this pie, with Prescott taking the lion's share and Sedona actually having quite a bit for assessed valuation. Library circulation, the next piece, Cottonwood has a nice amount of circulation with 245,000, and it's the fourth largest in this pie as well. Active library users, Cottonwood has a third largest slice with 18,571, and this makes up 10% of the formula. Library items, Cottonwood also has a third largest slice with 99,452 items they have available. Now here's a breakdown of the total contributions per library according to the formula. Cottonwood gets $176,693 of that amount, with, you can see how it's distributed via the other incorporated municipalities. Now, when the library district gives this the monetary contribution to each municipality, there are some stipulations generally on how that money is spent. First of all, Arizona statute says that that money has to be used in some way towards the library, even if that is reimbursing the city for some of the costs that they have with operating the library. Now, along with that, the YCFLD may have other ways that they want that money to be spent to help accomplish Yavapai County Free Library District goals. For instance, one of the things we want to make sure information centers in Yavapai County have is information that is up to the date and accurate. And one of the ways that we can do that is by saying so much of this money needs to go towards library materials or electronic resources or other ways that citizens of Yavapai County and of Cottonwood can get up to the date accurate information. And of course, we also support new technology and may ask that some of the money goes towards new technology or supporting new technology. Also, library programming and staff training and support. Any monetary contributions not spent as stipulated will need to be returned to the Yavapai County Free Library District. And lastly, the Yavapai County Free Library District is really proud to offer unsurpassed library service in many ways. First of all, the YLN Consortium of Libraries is unique to Arizona. There's no other county in Arizona that offers this kind of service, with multi-type academic libraries, K through 12 libraries, public libraries, all working together to provide services to all the citizens of Yavapai County. That's how we get that 1.2 million items, is because all those 40-plus libraries share those items amongst each other, even the K through 12s. We also work very hard to maintain library autonomy. We don't want to tell you what to do with your library. That's your guys' job. Other library districts do tell their libraries what they need to do. We don't work that way, and we don't want to. Other counties in the state are also currently working to replicate our model for how our consortia works. And we also include all the libraries that are part of the network in all major consortial decisions through a steering committee. So we don't want to make these decisions top-down. We want to get buy-in from all the libraries involved. And there's nobody else in the state, or even in many parts of the country, that do this. Also, we provide metropolitan services in small communities. We've had many patrons that go up to their library and say, you know, I just came from Los Angeles and we don't even offer this service. And we can do that through all working together and getting the economy of scale to make it so that we can provide services at a low cost or at no cost to our member libraries. We also have a commitment to fiscal savings. We don't want to spend money just to spend money. We want to make sure that we're getting a good deal and that your citizens are actually going to use the services that they're provided. We're one of the few counties to offer a monetary contribution. Many counties such as Maricopa County do not even give a monetary contribution to their libraries. They take all that tax money and they decide how it's spent. And by statute, they can do that. We choose not to do that because we know we're a rural area and you guys need that money to help make sure that your library is operational. And that is the end of our presentation. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Council, do you have questions? Mr. Pratt?
I have a comment. Being a file myself, this is a great service for our citizens. And it doesn't cost the city anything, paid by the district, and we really are serving the citizens well and just giving them a chance to access so many resources. I just think it's tremendous.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. We really
your
try to leverage the tax money, tax dollars, as best we can to make sure that the libraries get as much benefit as they can.
Well, I think you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess I do have kind of some questions, or it's pretty difficult. I mean, you have your pie charts and everything, and I know there's been a lot of changes.
Mm-hmm.
And I also recognize that you don't have to give us anything, you know, as you said. And we appreciate that you do, and we certainly appreciate all the services.
It's our pleasure.
And just a little bit of kind of questioning the new formula.
Mm-hmm.
So even though we seem to be, you know, properly credited with serving about 16% of the district's population, which would be 28,000 people, the allocation of funds based on population only accounts for 5% of the funding formula, as
That's
I
correct.
understand it. But assessed valuation accounts for 50% of that formula. So Prescott, even though it serves just 31% of the district's population, with this new formula, will get 38% of the funding because it has 44% of the assessed valuation. And probably Sedona does very well in that category also.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Cottonwood, as I figured, is getting about 11% of the funding to serve 16% of the population. So, you know, it just, I mean, the new formula, it's very complicated, and I know you guys have agonized over it, and it's something, I guess the Board of Supervisors serves on this board, and
Yeah, they are the board for the...
They are the board, right. And so they actually looked at the formula and calculated it up, or you made recommendations, or how did that work?
About 4 years ago, the library district, we brought an outside consultant in because we've had other formulas. Again, it would be just the base amount, population, circulation. Population, of course, you know, stays for 10 years. The only way that really a library can get any kind of increase would be through circulation.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we've been looking through this for 4 years. I have talked to my board of directors. Again, it was the consultant that came, you know, that did the formula for us. And again, I've got a wonderful board, the Board of Supervisors as my directors, and again, they've given me the confidence, again, to go ahead with the formula, the way that, again, the consultant had done.
That's great. And like I said, we appreciate your services. One thing, like you said about Cottonwood, is that we have a very small little town of 12,000 people. But probably our library is, how much percentage is it, Vanessa? Have you guys calculated that for out-of-city or in-city use? Do we have a comparison for that? You don't? Okay, I thought we used to do that. So the 28,000 people you're saying are the citizens of Cottonwood, the citizens of Verde Village, and the citizens of Cornville. Is that where we get our 28,000? Okay.
That's correct.
And I think our budget, is our budget for the library about $1 million a year, 900,000, or am I recalling that correctly? 862,000, okay. So it really is something that the city of Cottonwood puts a great store of confidence in our library and realizes how it serves, you know, the whole area, really. So we appreciate your being here tonight, and thank you for explaining kind of a difficult formula to us.
Again, you have our names and emails. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to email either Corey or myself.
It's just, it really makes our library so much better to be involved with the district, because we get a lot of resources from that. Like you said, the subscriptions and those different things, and books. So how much is going for books this year? I can't like have an item. How much? 40,000. I can't like have a library item and not talk about how much are we getting in books, right? It's like the broken record. Okay. Any other questions from the council? And how about the public? Any comments from the public? If not, Mr. Pratt?
I move to adopt resolution number 2664, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Yavapai College Free Library District.
Second.
Mr. Pratt made the motion. Mr. Elinsky seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming over tonight. Have a safe trip back.
Thanks, folks.
All right. Okay, so we need to
Want me to read the resolution?
read the resolution, and I already said Mr. Pratt and Mr. Elinsky. So Deputy Clerk, please read resolution number 2664 by title only.
Resolution number 2664, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, approving a library support agreement with the Yavapai County Free Library District to provide library district funds for the Cottonwood Public Library. Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. The next item is proposed changes to the fare structure for the Cat Verde Links transit system. And we have Mr. Maurer and Mr. Faust both with us tonight.
He's kind of leaving me holding the bag.
Oh, boy.
Well, actually, it was my idea, so.
Okay.
The reason this is coming about, as you know, Cottonwood took over the transit system from the NAPTA in July, and we basically decided at that point in time to keep things as they were, to just kind of ease into the transition, and so that's what we've done. In the interim, we've had a number of public meetings, and I've gotten a lot of phone calls, and so we decided to take a look at the fare structure. One of the things that came up in virtually every meeting we've had and almost every phone call I've had is the fact that there was not a monthly pass for the CAT, and that the ADA folks, the paratransit folks, also didn't have a monthly pass. So what I did is I took a look at what our regular fares are for each of those services, figured out the cost of what one person would spend if they bought a fare each way, an average of 21 work days a month, and came up with a number. And basically what I came up with was a number that was like twice what we would normally ask them to pay if we had a pass. So I did some calculations on that, and based on what I've done in other areas, created a pass that was like 70% of what it would cost them otherwise if they paid every trip. That's about the average in all the areas that I've worked in before, and it seems to be a good number in those areas, in places like Minneapolis, St. Paul, and in Georgia. The benefits I see are twofold. One, it makes it easier for the passengers. One of the complaints I've heard quite often is the fact that they're always digging around for change. They never seem to have a quarter, but they always have $2 bills. I don't know. So that was one of the issues that I hope to address with this. The other is the fact that it's a lot easier for the drivers to deal with as well. They don't have to try and figure out when somebody throws a handful of coins in the box, did he actually pay the full fare or not? With a pass, it's pretty easy. He just looks at the pass and makes sure it's the right month, and away they go. The thought being that more people are going to be buying passes over spending the money on a daily basis. And really, that's what I would hope to see. You know, based on, like I said, the conversations I've had, it seems likely that we're going to sell a lot of passes. The other thing that I did is I took a look at the Verde Links. Again, they do have a monthly pass. The problem I saw with that is that the cost for the monthly pass was less than half of what they would normally pay if they bought fare going each way. That seemed a little silly to me. So I proposed and talked with the city of Sedona to raise the fare for that monthly pass from $40 to $60, which again gets it into that 70% range and makes it a little more favorable for us since we're providing a lot of service going from here to Sedona. When I talked to Karen Danes and the city of Sedona, she thought that was more than fair. So they've okayed that. We've talked to Clarkdale, and they're happy with the new structure. And the third thing I proposed is a monthly all-access pass. This is something that has been talked about in some of the meetings, but what it does is it provides a way for people to take CAT and Lynx on the same pass without having to pay fares to both systems. A lot of this was brought about because originally the systems were run by two different organizations, so they had to pay fares to both. I wanted to find a way that we could provide service to all of the people that are going from Cottonwood to Sedona or from Sedona to Cottonwood, and then provide them a way to get from one place to another within those two cities. By providing this all-access pass, they can then ride any of the CAT buses or the Verde Links and be able to get anywhere they want to get to within our system. For that, I thought $80 was a fair price. We'll see how many we sell. It's an idea that, again, came from conversations with the community and conversations with individuals that were very much interested in that idea.
So for the $80, they can go as many times as they want?
As many times as they want.
As long as it's in that month?
Well, within
or
that
within that, whenever they purchase it for 30 days?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So it seemed like a good deal to promote for the service, and my hope is that we get even more riders going between the two, because then I have a real good opportunity to propose a new bus for those services.
All right, Mr. Elinsky?
Just wanted to say I'm glad that you came up with the monthly pass idea, and definitely the all-access pass. I think that's a good idea. And I'm just curious, will the drivers be able to sell the monthly passes on the buses, or do they have to go up to the transit center to get them?
We're going to probably, like we do now, provide the passes at the HR office, finance office, as well as up at our offices at the transit center.
Okay.
We've talked about perhaps providing them at the library as well.
Okay.
Or the rec center.
Yeah. Okay. So the drivers will just be able to do daily fare, but they won't be able to do a monthly pass.
We prefer that they didn't because of the amount of money involved.
Got it.
And if we keep it at the finance office, there are people that want to use their debit cards and credit cards to buy those passes, and they can do that at the finance office.
Got it.
Mr. Dowling?
I guess I have a couple questions. Do you think that this might put us in a situation, is there a possibility where people just start going crazy for these and riding the bus so much that we're going to be in a situation where it's not going to work in our favor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Mostly, I think we're going to get a lot of the people that are riding the bus already. That are fed up with having to dig in their pockets for change.
Right.
I would hope that we get more people riding the bus.
Yeah.
That's kind of the end goal for this.
I had the unique experience, I guess, of at one point they were actually running the transit system from Jerome. They had the
The purple bus.
VVT, Verde Valley Transit Association, they called it the Purple People Meter. But what they did there is they sold passes, but they were just a punch ticket. It was a punch ticket. So that, you know, and I don't know if that's something that, if we start getting people that are going too crazy with the rides back and forth, you could go to a punch ticket and actually have like a more defined benefit there than, you know, or maybe somebody's handing the pass off to their buddy. You know, I'm not sure how that would work, but if it's punch ticketed, you could still get the break on it, but you have a little bit more control maybe over the over the step.
We currently have punch tickets.
Oh, okay.
And those aren't going away. Nothing that we currently have is going away.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they can purchase the punch tickets. The idea, my goal is actually to get rid of the punch tickets.
Why don't we use RFID?
Excuse me?
We should use RFID.
Well, trust me, I'm looking at other options for being able to use debit and credit cards on the buses. It's just a cost that I have trouble with.
Well, on that note, they do have systems for these. You're probably aware of that, where it's just a card reader that goes on there. You zip it and you're done. So
exactly. But again, it's an expense, and right now I'm trying to keep expenses as minimal as I can.
Mr. Pratt?
Yeah, it seems to me this is kind of a win-win thing. It's good for our customers and our citizens, and it also could be good for the bus system. It could increase ridership, and I applaud you for coming up with this, because I think it does serve our citizens well.
Well, and again, we've been trying to be responsive to our customers' needs, and there are a number of cases where we just cannot do everything that we want to do. This was something that seemed easy enough to do and easy to monitor.
Right.
Yeah. I've talked with a number of students at the college, and I was interested to see how many students get on and off that bus, and they have talked about that kind of thing. They'd like a monthly pass, and because they don't have the change, and like you said.
Exactly.
So I think it's a great thing and good service to our customers.
Thank you.
What do people do when they get on the bus and they don't have, I mean, you guys carry a lot of change, or?
We carry no change.
So if they don't have it, they can't get on?
We generally allow them on. It's
because somebody
service.
Couldn't get to school, or
well,
and I mean, it probably doesn't happen often. If it happens once in a while, you're trying to get those.
It's very rare. What we find is that people will have something, and they'll throw something in the box. And when we count it at the end of the day, we find that we're probably 50, 60 cents short, somewhere along the line, and that's okay. That's kind of something that I expect, having been in the large cities where that happens far more regularly. At least here, people are more honest, and they at least try to get close, as they can. So
well, I can see where it could be a problem, because you just don't always have change in your pocket, and it's not like it's $1 even; it's $1.25 now.
Exactly, and that's the things that I've been hearing the most. And the other thing is a Saturday service I'm looking at, but that's not part of this deal yet.
So it sounds like this was kind of customer-based suggestions from our constituents and our customers, and we're just trying to accommodate that need and that request.
That's what we're trying to do.
Questions, comments? Any comments from the members of the audience? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Dowling?
I'll move that the council approve the request for the proposed changes to the fare structure for the CAT Verde Links transit system as presented.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Dowling made the motion. Councilmember Norman seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 5 is resolution number 2265, supporting the repeal of Arizona House Bill 2826. Resolution number 2666, supporting the repeal, accelerated sunset, and/or non-renewal of Arizona House Bill 2643. And resolution number 2667, urging the Arizona legislature to renew its support of the Arizona City Park system. And I guess I'm going to present this. All right, so this is all about the Greater Arizona Mayors Association, as you read in the background materials. And we're working together on issues that we feel are important to our communities. And of course, the council's already discussed the elections bill in detail and other circumstances. We've also approved and discussed the resolution or House Bill 2643. And we've also had several items on state parks that have come before the council. So what we did at the last Greater Arizona Mayor's meeting, which was held down at Scottsdale at the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, was they asked me to give them all these resolutions. And so I would like to thank our city attorney, Steve Horton, who really helped with this. And I appreciate that so much because I know how busy you are. So all of these have been sent out to all of the mayors of our member towns, mostly in northern Arizona, and they're all supposed to give them to their councils for consideration, and we're meeting October 12th in Chino Valley to get a report. But the issue is here that we want to do this as the Greater Arizona Mayors, but in talking to Representative Karen Fan, she says each community makes a difference. Each community, not just the Greater Arizona Mayors, but each of the councils need to call their legislators and work on these issues because it will be more meaningful then. So we decided to bring it to our councils, and that's what this item is about. So we have the 3 resolutions, and I would just request that the council consider supporting these resolutions. Mr. Pratt.
Again, this is one I think we can support pretty easily, especially since it's been unanimous amongst the cities and towns in Arizona saying, yes, let us have some local control. We know what we need and don't need, and we do support our state parks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agreed wholeheartedly, and as I said, it's unanimous.
And the local control piece of it is so important because who knows better than your own citizens? If your citizens don't want to have their elections at a certain time, they will come to their councils and ask us to change them, and we will consider that.
Exactly.
But the state just decided, and a lot of this, the reason for that bill was special interest groups. You know, so how do special interest groups serve the citizens of Cottonwood? Sometimes not very well.
I think you're just trying to get rid of me a year and a half early.
Mr. Pratt?
Are we ready for a motion?
Absolutely.
I move to approve resolution number 2665, supporting the repeal of Arizona House Bill 2826. I move to approve resolution number 2666, supporting the repeal, accelerated sunset, and/or non-renewal of Arizona House Bill 2643. And I move to approve resolution number 2667, urging the Arizona legislature to renew its support of the Arizona State Park system.
Second.
So Mr. Pratt made the motion, the vice mayor seconded it, and to add a little bit of discussion to that, I forgot to tell council that at the League of Cities and Towns meeting, the staff at the League had suggested that we pass a resolution as the League of Cities and Towns to work with this elections bill so that home rule and council members having extended terms, you know, they were requesting to be able to work with the legislature to fix that. But every city and town that was there, and Scottsdale wasn't there because Mayor Lane had supported with the Goldwater Institute having this elections bill, but everyone who was there, and I would guess that 90% of the mayors or council members who serve on that committee were there, said no to staff, we want it repealed. We want you to go back and get that repealed. So I just thought I would give you that update. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, claims and adjustments.
Claims and adjustments.
Oh, whoops, forgot. Okay,
Almost did it.
Almost did it. Okay, Deputy Clerk, please read Resolution number 2265, Resolution number
2665.
26.
Okay, hang on just a second. Resolution number 2265 and Resolution number 2666 and Resolution number 2667. Those numbers are like so different. I think that's what's goofing me up. They're not in consecutive order.
2665.
Must just be a typo here.
Oh, on the agenda it's 2265.
Oh.
Okay, so it's 2665 by title only.
Resolution number 2665, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, supporting the repeal of Arizona House Bill 2826. Resolution number 2666, a resolution of the city council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, supporting the repeal, accelerated sunset, and/or non-renewal of the Arizona House Bill 2643. And resolution number 2667, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, urging the Arizona legislature to renew its support of the Arizona State Park System. Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. And Councilmember Norman had made a motion to approve the claims. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilmember Dowling seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I move to adjourn.
Second.
The mayor made the motion, the vice mayor seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.